Number 1. The moment the world decides your worth. Listen carefully. The world does not judge you by your intentions, your intelligence, or your potential. It judges you by what it sees, and the moment you look poor, everything silently turns against you. Doors hesitate, voices lower, not out of respect, but dismissal. Advice replaces opportunity. Sympathy replaces trust. This is not cruelty, this is power psychology. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Men are ruled by appearances long before they are ruled by truth. When you appear weak, the world does not protect you, it tests you. When you appear poor, people assume you are careless, slow, or easily controlled. They speak over you. They negotiate harder. They delay your calls. They feel safe exploiting your time because they believe you have nothing better to do. This is the first brutal law you must swallow if you want to become untouchable. Perception comes before permission. The poor-looking man is never given the benefit of doubt. His mistakes are remembered. His successes are questioned. His confidence is labeled arrogance. Meanwhile, the man who looks powerful can say less, demand more, and still be respected. This is why hard work alone keeps men trapped. Effort without image is invisible. Discipline without presentation is ignored. You were taught to believe character speaks for itself. That lie was designed to keep you obedient. In reality, character only matters after you are taken seriously, and seriousness is granted visually, instantly, and without mercy. Machiavelli warned that men judge more by the eye than by the hand because everyone can see, but few can truly feel. Right now, before you speak, before you prove anything, the world has already decided how it will treat you. That decision is based on signals you may not even realize you're sending. This monologue is not about vanity, it is about survival. It is about learning why the system resists you and how to reverse that resistance. Because once you understand this truth, you stop begging for fairness. You start engineering respect. And from that moment forward, the game changes. Number 2, poverty is a signal, not a bank balance. Understand this now. Poverty is not just a lack of money, it is a signal. A silent broadcast that tells the world how to treat you. 2 men can have the same numbers in their account, yet live in entirely different psychological realities. One is hunted, the other is handled carefully. The difference is not cash, it is presentation. Machiavelli never warned against being poor, he warned against appearing so, because appearance determines leverage. When you look poor, people assume urgency. They assume you need them more than they need you. That single assumption poisons every interaction. Employers push salaries lower, partners test boundaries, friends feel entitled to waste your time. Even enemies underestimate you, not out of mercy, but because they believe you lack the resources to retaliate. This is why the poor-looking man is always explaining himself, always justifying delays, always over-delivering to compensate for lack of authority. He speaks more because no one listens. He agrees faster because resistance feels risky. His body language tightens. His voice asks instead of states, and the world responds accordingly. Cold power psychology teaches this. Humans are efficiency-driven predators. They scan for weakness the way animals scan for injury. Not consciously, instinctively, and nothing signals vulnerability faster than disorder, cheapness, desperation, or neglect. You may call it unfair. Power does not care. Power only responds to cues. The system is not designed to uplift you. It is designed to sort you. And the sorting begins the moment you walk into a room. When you look poor, people do not think you are bad. Worse, they think you are replaceable. And replaceable men are squeezed without guilt. This is why morality lectures never change outcomes. The world doesn't reward virtue, it rewards positioning. Once you grasp this, you stop taking disrespect personally. You see it mechanically, predictably, fixable. You realize the battle is not between good and evil, but between signals and assumptions, between how you are seen and how you are treated. Masculine stoicism begins here. No complaints, no resentment, no emotional bargaining, Only adjustment, only strategy. You don't curse the rules of gravity, you learn how to use them. And once you stop confusing money with power, you unlock something dangerous, the ability to look untouchable long before you actually are. That is when the pressure eases. That is when people hesitate. And hesitation in power games is everything. Number 3, why respect arrives before results. Here is the uncomfortable truth most men learn too late. Respect does not follow results. Results follow respect. The world pretends it's the other way around to keep you grinding quietly. When you look poor, people demand proof before belief. When you look powerful, belief comes first, and proof is optional. This is why some men fail upward while others succeed in silence. It is not luck. It is sequence. Power psychology operates on pre-commitment. People decide how seriously to take you before you speak, before you perform, before you deliver. And once that decision is made, reality bends to support it. The man who looks established is given patience. His mistakes are called experiments. His delays are called strategy. The poor-looking man is audited for everything. Every misstep becomes evidence. Every pause becomes suspicion. He is treated like a risk, not a resource. Machiavelli observed that authority must be assumed before it can be enforced. If you wait for permission to be respected, you will wait forever. This is why image is not deception. It is preloading the mind of the observer. Humans hate uncertainty. They rush to label. And once labeled, they defend that label to protect their own judgment. If they label you as weak, they will subconsciously search for confirmation. If they label you as strong, they will excuse contradictions. This is not corruption, it is cognition, cold, efficient, and merciless. Masculine stoicism demands you see this without bitterness. You do not moralize it, you weaponize it. You understand that looking poor forces you to fight uphill in every negotiation, salary, respect, romance, influence. You must speak louder, explain more, and tolerate more disrespect just to reach neutral ground. That drains energy, and drained men make mistakes. This is how the system exhausts you without ever touching you. Power is conservation of energy. The respected man conserves it. The dismissed man burns it. Once you understand that respect is a prerequisite, not a reward, your strategy changes. You stop asking, "How do I prove myself?" and start asking, "What signals am I sending before I open my mouth?" Because in the real world, outcomes are often decided before the game even begins. And the man who understands this stops playing fair and starts playing accurately. Number 4, the tax you pay for looking desperate. Desperation is expensive, not in money, but in power. When you look poor, desperation leaks from you in ways you don't control. It shows in how fast you reply, how flexible your standards become, how often you explain instead of assert. The world reads this instantly, and once desperation is detected, a silent tax is applied to everything you do. You are paid less, waited longer, tested more, trusted later, if ever. Machiavelli understood that men exploit need the way water exploits cracks, not out of malice, but because opportunity invites itself. When you appear desperate, people feel justified squeezing you. They call it business. They call it realism. They call it how the world works. And they are right. Desperation tells others you lack options. And a man without options has no leverage. This is why looking poor is dangerous even when you are not. It forces you into reactive behavior. You accept terms you should reject. You tolerate disrespect you should confront. You compromise identity for short-term relief. Over time, this erodes your posture, internally and externally. Masculine stoicism is not about suppressing emotion. It is about refusing to leak it, especially need, especially urgency, especially fear. The untouchable man moves as if time favors him, even when it doesn't. He understands that calm is a threat. Silence is a signal. Slowness implies choice. The poor-looking man rushes because he believes delay will cost him everything. The powerful-looking man delays because he knows rushing exposes weakness. This is the paradox. The less you seem to need, the more you receive. Not because people are generous, but because they are cautious. They sense you can walk away. And the ability to walk away is the highest form of leverage. Power psychology is ruthless here. Humans respect constraints, not effort. They respond to boundaries, not pleading. When you look poor, your boundaries are assumed to be negotiable. When you look solid, your boundaries are assumed to be expensive to cross. This section is not telling you to fake wealth. It is telling you to eliminate visible urgency, to stop advertising hunger, to stop broadcasting that you need approval, opportunity, or validation now. Because the moment people sense you need something, they will make you pay for it, and the price is always higher than you expect. Number 5, image is the first line of defense. Image is not decoration, it is armor. Before you build influence, before you accumulate resources, before you win battles, image stands between you and unnecessary resistance. When you look poor, every interaction becomes friction-heavy. You are questioned, inspected, delayed. When you look composed, deliberate, and self-contained, friction drops. People cooperate sooner. They explain themselves. They hesitate before disrespect. This is not admiration, it is risk management. Machiavelli taught that the appearance of strength prevents challenges more effectively than strength itself. Power prefers efficiency. If the mind of the observer predicts consequences, it avoids conflict. That prediction begins with what it sees. Your image tells people how expensive it will be to cross you. Disorder signals chaos. Cheapness signals scarcity. Inconsistency signals instability. Together they invite probing. People poke to see how much pressure you can take. Masculine stoicism demands coherence. Your posture matches your pace. Your silence matches your eye contact. Your restraint matches your boundaries. You do not overshare. You do not rush to impress. You do not explain your worth. You let others infer it. An inference is far more persuasive than declaration. Cold psychology reveals a simple rule. The mind fills gaps with assumptions. If you fill the space with calm and structure, others assume competence. If you fill it with noise and urgency, they assume weakness. The poor-looking man tries to win arguments. The composed man wins positioning. He understands that most conflicts are avoided, not won, and avoidance is victory. Image creates a perimeter. It reduces the number of attacks you must fend off. This preserves energy, focus, and time, the real currencies of power. Notice how the world treats men who look settled. They are not necessarily richer or smarter. They simply project containment. They look like problems, do not stick to them. People instinctively give them room. This is the advantage you are building. Not flash, not excess, control of self, signals, and environment. You are not trying to look superior. You are trying to look unbothered. Because nothing unsettles predators more than prey that does not behave like prey. Once your image stops inviting challenge, you can choose your battles. And the man who chooses his battles is already ahead. Number 6, why the world tests you less when you look solid. The world is lazy. It does not want conflict. It wants efficiency. When you look poor, the world tests you because it expects compliance. When you look solid, the world hesitates because it expects resistance. This is not morality, it is probability. People constantly calculate risk, even if they don't realize it. They ask one silent question: what happens if I push this person? If the answer feels cheap, they push. If it feels costly, they don't. Appearance answers that question instantly. Machiavelli warned that it is better to be feared than loved if one cannot be both. Not because fear is noble, but because fear introduces consequence. Looking solid does not mean looking aggressive. Aggression invites challenge. Solidity invites caution. Masculine stoicism lives here. Calm face, slow movements, minimal words, no emotional spikes. These traits signal self-command. And self-command implies resources, internal or external. The poor-looking man reacts emotionally because he feels everything is on the line. His reactions become data. People store that data and use it later. The solid-looking man gives nothing away. His neutrality becomes a wall. Power psychology shows that unpredictability combined with calm creates hesitation. People cannot read you, so they choose the safest option: distance, politeness, respect. This is why certain men are rarely challenged, not because they dominate conversations, but because they do not invite testing. Their presence closes loops. There is nothing to grab onto, no visible insecurity, no hunger for validation. The system treats them as fixed objects rather than flexible ones. And fixed objects are not pushed easily. When you look poor, you are seen as adjustable. Your time is adjustable. Your standards are adjustable. Your dignity is adjustable. Everyone feels entitled to negotiate you down. Looking solid removes that entitlement. People assume you already have leverage, even if you don't yet. An assumption becomes behavior. Behavior becomes outcome. This is the chain you are exploiting. Not manipulation, structure. You are not deceiving anyone. You are aligning signals with intent. Intent without signal is ignored. Signal without intent is hollow. But when both align, resistance dissolves. This is why becoming untouchable is less about confrontation and more about insulation. You don't fight every battle. You make most battles unnecessary. And that begins the moment the world decides you are not worth testing. Number 7, scarcity energy is loud. Power is quiet. Scarcity makes noise. Power does not need to. When you look poor, everything about you tries to be heard. Your words, your effort, your frustration. You explain. You justify. You persuade. You leak energy because you believe visibility equals value. Power psychology teaches the opposite. Value attracts attention naturally. It does not chase it. Machiavelli observed that men who speak little are often assumed to know more. Silence forces others to project competence onto you. Noise forces them to inspect you. The poor-looking man fills silence because silence feels dangerous. He fears being forgotten, so he over-communicates, over-promises, overreacts. Each over is a signal of scarcity. Masculine stoicism demands restraint, not coldness, control. You choose when to speak, you choose when to move, you choose when to respond. This selectivity implies abundance of options. And abundance, real or perceived, changes how people treat you. When someone answers slowly, others assume they are busy. When someone answers instantly, others assume availability. Availability lowers perceived value. This is not cruelty, it is pattern recognition. Scarcity energy also warps judgment. It pushes you to accept unfavorable terms because relief feels like victory. The quiet man does not confuse relief with progress. He can sit with discomfort without flinching. That alone separates him from the majority. The world is trained to extract from those who cannot wait. Silence becomes a filter. Only serious opportunities remain. Looking poor amplifies urgency. Looking powerful dampens it. This is why stillness is threatening. People cannot rush you. They cannot rush someone who does not seem to need the outcome. And the moment they realize you don't need it, they start offering more. Power flows toward detachment. This is one of the coldest truths in human interaction. The man who cares less controls more. Not because he is cruel, but because he is free. Freedom reads as power, and power, when quiet, is almost invisible, but always felt. This is the frequency you are tuning yourself to. Leave noise behind. Let others fill the silence. They always do. Number 8, why money follows the look of control. Money is conservative. It moves towards stability, not effort. When you look poor, money treats you like a leak. Temporary, risky, extractive. When you look controlled, money slows down, observes, and stays longer. This is why investors back men who speak calmly rather than passionately. Why clients trust composure over enthusiasm. Why leaders are selected for presence, not hunger. Machiavelli understood that wealth attaches itself to perceived order. Disorder signals risk, control signals continuity. Masculine stoicism is financial before it is emotional. It trains you to appear unshaken by outcomes. Not indifferent, but unneedy. The poor-looking man tries to convince money. The controlled man allows money to convince itself. Power psychology shows that people associate calm with foresight. If you are not anxious, they assume you see something they don't, and they follow. This is how money accumulates around certain individuals seemingly without effort. It is not magic, it is alignment. The way you sit, speak, and pause communicates whether you can hold resources without panic. Panic repels capital. Control attracts it. When you look poor, people worry you will misuse what they give you. They impose conditions. They tighten terms. They demand guarantees. When you look solid, people offer flexibility. They trust your judgment. Trust reduces friction. Reduced friction accelerates accumulation. This is why chasing money rarely works. It makes you look like you can't hold it. Power comes first. Money follows, always. This section is not telling you to pretend you don't want more. It is telling you to remove the visible craving. Craving signals instability. Stability signals stewardship. And money wants a steward, not a beggar. Once you understand this, your behavior changes. You slow down. You refine. You choose environments that reinforce control. You stop trying to impress and start trying to contain. Because the man who looks like he can contain power is the man power chooses. Number 9, becoming untouchable is an internal shift. The final transformation is not external, it is internal. Looking poor is often a symptom before it is a cause. It reflects a mindset of reaction, not command. Becoming untouchable begins when your nervous system stops seeking permission from the world. Masculine stoicism teaches that control of self precedes control of environment. You stop chasing certainty. You stop broadcasting stress. You stop needing immediate outcomes to regulate your mood. This internal stillness rewires how others perceive you. Power psychology calls this emotional sovereignty. When you are sovereign, nothing leaks. Praise doesn't inflate you. Rejection doesn't collapse you. The poor-looking man is readable because he is emotionally exposed. His face reveals stakes. His voice reveals fear. The untouchable man reveals nothing. He feels deeply, but privately. Machiavelli warned that showing your inner state hands your opponent a map. Privacy is power. Once your reactions disappear, manipulation fails. People test less, they push less, they adjust themselves instead. This is the point where you no longer need to signal strength deliberately. It becomes ambient. Your presence does the work. You don't posture, you don't threaten, you don't explain. You exist with weight. That weight comes from consistency between inner state and outer behavior. No contradictions, no leaks. This is why wealth, influence, and respect often arrive after a man stops chasing them. He is no longer broadcasting need. He is broadcasting capacity. Capacity to wait. Capacity to absorb pressure. Capacity to walk away. And walking away is the ultimate power move. Not theatrically, but silently. When people realize you are not attached to outcomes, they lose leverage over you. The system stops squeezing because squeezing yields nothing. This is untouchability, not dominance, but immunity. You are no longer an easy target, and predators conserve energy. They move on. What remains are equal exchanges, serious conversations, and real opportunities. This is the threshold. Cross it internally, and the external world follows without resistance. Number 10, the final law: control the signal, control the outcome. Here is the law that ties everything together. The world does not respond to who you are, it responds to the signal you emit. When you look poor, the signal says extract, delay, test. When you look controlled, the signal says caution, respect, cooperation. This is not about luxury, it is about coherence. Your pace, posture, silence, and standards must tell one story. That story should be, I am not in a hurry and I am not desperate. Machiavelli would remind you that men are governed by what they perceive, not by what is true. So you do not fight perception, you shape it. Masculine stoicism demands discipline over expression. You choose restraint over reaction. You choose containment over display. Cold power psychology demands awareness. Every interaction is a negotiation of status, whether acknowledged or not. Once you see this, you stop being offended. You stop being surprised. You stop being exploited. You move deliberately. You invest in looking ordered before you are rich, composed before you are secure, grounded before you are powerful. Because those traits create security and power. The poor-looking man hopes the world will be fair. The controlled man knows it won't be and prepares accordingly. This is not cynicism, it is clarity. You are not rejecting morality, you are rejecting naivety. The moment you control your signal, you control your outcomes. People respond differently. Opportunities change shape. Resistance fades. You are no longer fighting gravity. You are using it. This is how men become untouchable without raising their voice, without explaining their pain, without asking for permission. If this message sharpened your awareness, if it gave you language for things you felt but couldn't name, then make the move most men won't. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, because the game is not slowing down, and now neither are you.